Hi everyone, afternoon. Uh,
Hi.
I apologise, I'm having Wi-Fi issues, so I'm so sorry. But thank you very much for joining us. I also was just talking to Roman before I dropped out. So just to introduce you, this is Roman from Google UK, and we met each other at an exhibition that Google were they had a massive stand and they were doing lots of educationals throughout the day, and they've had some really exciting updates recently. I know some of you that typically use Microsoft are really interested to learn a little bit more about what Google do. So without further ado, I'm like to hand it over to Roman. So welcome, Roman. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. Hopefully, everyone is doing fine and safe and home and cozy. A rainy day here.
Yeah, thank you. I'll keep an eye on the chat box for you, Roman, for sure. Super cozy we've got so far.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm just opening a few links that I would like to run us through, but I'll start with a quick presentation. Probably it will be good for me to start with a quick introduction, and also if anyone wants to put questions during the session, feel free to. Unfortunately, I cannot see you. I'm from a web browser. In Google, we do block Zoom. We're not really allowed to use it much due to certain security reasons. So I can only see Daniel at this point, and probably I'll be able to see my presentation. But once you speak, I might be able to see you if you pop up. Other than that, I am Roman. I've been with Google for 5 years now. I've been in various roles, marketing, ads, then moved into cloud space. So I used to be a cloud account manager. However, my passion really lies in workplace transformation or helping people staying productive or getting even more productive, and specifically with Google Platform. As you know, we used to be Gsuite. Now we're called Google Workspace. So I do apologize in advance the fact that I'll probably from time to time get excited and keep talking about or will be using G Suite very often. I think there won't be much confusion going forward as we discuss our tools, as those actually haven't really changed in terms of names and capability, only just a few cool additions. Okay, any particular questions before we kick off, or should I just start with my presentation and let's get cracking? Okay, so let me share my screen, and I will be popping up from one presentation to another. Okay. Oh, I just thought I could show you the. Okay, can everyone see my screen properly right now? I can see myself in the corner up there. Yeah, wonderful. So let's get it going.
Yes, all good, no worries. Apologies, you can all see, that's absolutely great.
Okay, so let's start with this. Some of these icons have changed drastically over the last few weeks. You've seen a lot of waves around the internet. Some people happy, some not so much. Some people get their icon get lost across Google icons, but here's our strategy to unify the brand. Today we will be talking about several of these tools and really how can they help you be a bit more productive and some of tips and tricks. I won't definitely go through everything we do have. What I would hope at the end is can share with you some resources where you can go and really pick apart those platforms. However, I want to start with the general understanding of what Google Workspace is and what does it actually offer. We do have three main pillars looking at Google Workspace. So number one is communication, second one is collaboration, and third one is control and management. Right, so today we will dive into some tips and tricks on Gmail and Calendar, Hangouts, Chat, and Meet. Equally, we will look at collaboration. How do you get to be productive? Or what things do we have there in terms of docs, sheets, slides, forms, sites, Google Keep and Google Task, maybe even a quick Jamboard overview. And ultimately, Google Drive and Google Cloud Search is what we will be looking at. Probably, not probably, but definitely we won't touch the admin, Vault, and mobile and security center. Those are typically things that the admins will take care of and the IT department really will manage. So that being said, what we really figured out, and over the time in our service and experiences, work is always demanding more, and a lot of people do require to get data fast, find that information very fast. And if you look at how the world transitioned from working in on a paper, or maybe in a notebook, and then it evolved into something paper and your computer. But gradually we kind of hit the point where there's so many apps that many of them do same thing, or some do something, some do other things, and you end up having chats in one side, Gmail or email in other side, notes in other place. So it's all cluttered. And then you start looking for that information. We've been hit with the same thing internally, right? So for us, we asked ourselves, how do we solve this problem, and how do we help everyone get the access to that information right on spot? And how do we make AI do that for you? So obviously, for us, the main focus was, how do we get, first of all of our application in one place? So we want to help you spend less time on searching and admin tasks, but really on something innovative, or achieve those goals that you have in front of you. So we wanted to help. Obviously, we want to start with email. And this is why you will see that today I'll keep talking about email, and how email is not really going anywhere, and how email is evolving, and what tricks do we have to make you productive while you're in email. And since you're still staying in email, since you're working in email, what do we have in store in terms of helping you alleviate or improve some of those tasks you need to deliver? First of all is the understanding that all these applications have to be both on your phone and on your computer, and they have to integrate seamlessly. And everything you do on one platform has to transition seamlessly to another platform or another device, right? So that's why if you're using Google Workspace in your organization, you probably have seen this. If you aren't, this is the strategy that we have, and you probably will be familiar, some of you, with Teams. Teams is doing the same from Office, where they've approached on integrating chat and video in one place, and calendar. But the gap, what we see, is that this kind of illusion that email is that, but email is not that. So what we've done is the greatest redesign, or the biggest redesign, to Gmail. So Gmail includes chat, rooms, and Meet in one place. So if you're working on an email, what you can do is right away drop from or transition from one communication style to another, and you're able to quickly go for some meetings or some conversations with people internally or externally. Equally, that redesign has been brought into Gmail on your computer, I mean. So what you can do, you have your chats directly there. You've been familiar with this. It just has been redesigned a little bit to give it a bit more capability and flair, and a lot of chat bots and whatnot. That's how it works on mobile. I don't want to get stuck a lot on presentations. I would rather jump into some of the visuals in a second, in a demo. What's also important, we understand that people more than ever collaborate in various files. In Google, we do not like attachments. And as you know, you need to get information to people fast. So for example, if someone requests, or your executive requests some kind of data, or you have to work with other people to put together a document, or get data from various departments, we often start everything with a blank document. And that's what we suggest do. Start with a blank document. But now you're able to start that blank document directly in Gmail as well. So instead of you going with attachments, you just start with that directly in your Gmail. So let's talk about Gmail a bit more. What you can do really in terms of your advanced capability of managing it, besides just general email, is have multiple inboxes. And multiple inboxes do allow you to obviously manage several people's inboxes. You can redirect those emails accordingly. It's really easy to set up. All it takes is just press one button in settings, and then you see which inbox you can manage. Additionally, labeling is something you can do. Honestly, in Google, almost no one uses labels. Very few people use labels. Labels are something that we had to add because people who transition from Outlook asked a lot about folders. So what you really should focus in if you're ever using Gmail is search. We're a search company, so by default, everything we do is focused in search. Even though you can create those labels, and what you can do afterwards, I'll talk in a second, is create those filters that can automatically label things if you like your inbox to be super colorful. But generally speaking, always focus about your work with a keyword in mind. If you have a keyword in mind, you'll find the data much faster than you would find a label, to be fair. Then, as I said, search and filters is something that we can dive into a second. I'll show you how to create a simple search. You probably really know how to create a filter. It's really intuitive, but this is how you can automate a lot of your tasks. One or few things that are often missed is the offline mode. So often when we discuss about, okay, so what is the difference between Office and Gmail? And the first instance is I cannot work offline because I can have a client, right, in Outlook. The truth is you can use Gmail as a client, especially if you use your Chrome browser, which I believe is a very powerful browser to allow you to really do a lot of your productivity. You just can go in settings and enable the offline mode, and you can enable it for 30 days, for 90 days. So even if you're off on your internet, or like Daniel right now skipping a little bit on his Wi-Fi, you can really easily get into your inbox and still do your work accordingly. And another thing is email templates. They're sometimes not easy to find. I'll show you in a second, as well as we go into the demo version. But email templates are a crucial role for anyone who gets questions or typical same questions over and over. So all you do is when you create an email, in the bottom corner there in the actual email box, click more options, create a template. And whenever you receive an email, which is like, oh, okay, I just can reply to the template, you click on that and you pick a templated email that you have pre-written a long time ago. So you don't have to, for some of you probably have a document where you go into and you pick it, but you can have those templates directly in Gmail ready for you. Equally, another way, and probably a collaborative inboxes is something that you can do, is either manage several inboxes, but what we also like to do a lot is groups. And really in Google, a lot of things are based on groups, and I see how our EAs as well work with groups a lot, is you set up any kind of name you want for that specific group. You can add people you want to that group and really have a specific targeted alias for that group. It can be external that you want to use for someone, it can be internal, but it's a very simple way to tag content, for example, right? You can reply from that group, you can reply to that group within that group. So it's a very, very simple way to have a very streamlined view of those emails, or of emails of other people or of different projects that you've been working on. Quickly go for calendar. Calendar, simple UI, I'll show in a second as well, like how to create appointment slots or out of office ones. Time zones. Really nice in calendar you can do is turn on the world clock. If you're working with people from across multiple zones, and typically that's what happens, for example, I know in my case we have several EAs I've been chatting with. They have directors in US or directors here in UK, for example, and they have to always connect with them because the team is managed by a VP in US, but the directors are here. So what they do is they just enable the world clock where they can add several time zones on the left side. So what they can do is they always see the time zones. You don't have to go and Google, oh, what time is here in different zone and whatnot. You always see it in your calendar. And it feels like a something small thing, but when you start adding up all the small pieces of time you invest in checking things, they really add up. They add up in our calculations up to 6 hours a week in just doing this mundane tasks that AI can do for you. And suggested times as well. That's just searching, easily the time with people. In email, I'm just going to run through this really quick. You have a thing that is called nudging. So probably if you have email, you probably have seen it. If you send an email, someone didn't reply, it will show up automatically on top and say, hey, nobody replied to this email, try again. Snoozing, you can snooze your emails if you want to for later. Smart Compose, this has improved my productivity by about 20%. So it learns with time on your language and how you use your language, and it would automatically help you write emails faster. I use the tab button all the time now because I start writing something, it understands what I want to say, and it picks it up. Smart Reply, you have it on your phone, you have it in chat, you have it in your email as well. Here's on your phone. Really, most of the people use this on their phone. So if you're, for example, exec doesn't know much, or a lot of people, what they might do if they use an iPhone, they will route their email to an Apple mail, and they will think that they're, oh, it's more productive or I'm being faster because it's on my Apple email. Apple email is miles behind, maybe years behind Gmail. So I would encourage you, suggest people to move to their Gmail and really benefit from all those AI tools. Priority inbox, you can manage your inbox any way you want. Also, what's very valuable is the schedule sent. You can schedule your emails to go at 7 a.m. or 8 p.m. And some people like receiving their emails in the morning. In your case, amazing thing. If you're writing the schedule for your for director in the morning or VP, and they need to receive it at 7:50 a.m., boom, it's a simple thing. Just schedule it there, write it in the evening, get your extra hours in the morning. Dynamic email. It's something that you might have seen if you're using it. If someone comments on a document and you open and you receive a comment or a notification, that someone has commented in that document you own, you don't have to open the document. You can just collaborate directly from that email. And obviously in the future, as I said, you can just open it directly in the Gmail. And the sidebar. We'll talk about the sidebar a lot. It's one of my favorite things across the product that really connects every tool together and makes you super productive, especially if you use Salesforce or any other tools externally. Google Drive, really quick. Again, just to overview, we will go into how to use Google Docs. It's simple, but many people miss version controls. Ability to edit history. You have the dictation. You have Doc in Doc. You have Explore buttons that really helps you be more productive. And we'll talk about Docs, also about macros and sheets specifically. By the way, if your organization is in a hybrid mode, or you particularly feel that you want to work in Google and you would like to get access, don't forget that there is a massive interoperability. You can open any doc file, you can Microsoft Word file, you can open any PowerPoint file, and calendars are also in sync. So you don't have to be on one or another. We are fully supportive in terms of interoperability. Cloud Search is a platform where you can find information very fast across all your platforms internally. Again, I'm not going to go into too much details. I'll show you in a second. So before we go into resources, let's start with Gmail. And I'll actually have one of mine here, demo list. Okay, let's see. Can I present a different screen? Application window, here we go. I should be able to see my screen right now. So,
sorry, Roman, do you mind me asking how many
go
people
ahead.
are here? If you can maybe raise your hands, or if you could put it in the chat box, how many people here actually use Google at the moment within, like, either personally or professionally? I'm just interested to see. Personally, not at the moment. Have done. Personally. Yeah, because I use Gmail, but I have no idea about any of the functionality of it. So this is really helpful. Never
Yeah,
used it, not at the moment. So this is great. Thank you so much. I just wanted to check. Thank you.
that's good. And then it means that what I'm saying, it makes sense because I'm trying to be somewhere in the middle between ones who are using it personally, professionally, and ones who haven't even seen it. So a lot of these features will be available for you by default in the free version. Some of them aren't. Some of them are popping up. So, you will be somewhere on the spectrum anyway. So let's start with email. For me, what's very simple is that's how I structure my email. Let's maybe take the add-on the side for a second. This is how my email looks like. What is really nice is that you can start playing on how you want to customize it. A lot of people like to split it. You can split it like this. So whenever you open some kind of email, right away that email is easily seen. Let's maybe try this one, maybe something like this. Yeah. So I'll take this away. So you see, you can expand. Obviously, if I make my screen bigger, or I can do it here. Outlook-like. So you can do the Outlook version. I'm not a fan of it. I really like my no split version. I typically manage my inbox very well. I'm a zero inbox guy. As you see, I have one inbox here. It's bugging me already. But you can customize it any way you want. You can really go in and play through it. What conversation view is something very often people ask. We tend to manage it in different ways. So typically you would get an email, and when you reply, the thread would go under in Outlook. In Google, when your conversation view is enabled, you also always reply with like a new email on top, and you don't see that conversation is hidden right away, and that's called conversation view. So what's nice about it, because if you start interacting with someone, you're able to seamlessly go through those emails. And maybe it's just a habit that I have, but you can pick whatever works for you, obviously. But that's what we feel is the easiest way that creates collaboration between people, because you can see segmented instead of you scrolling through the thread. Like, I don't like going through thread, and I'm not sure if that thread is, who passed it, from where did it come from, and all this stuff. Another neat feature as well is the comfortable versus default view. You see, in default view, what I can see right away is the document attached to this email. And in this case, it's another thing that we just discussed, is someone added a comment here, right, to this document. So I can say, no, don't give access, right? Or I can just give access to this person and just share. Let's maybe delete the no and say, okay, so this person right away got access to this file. I don't have to open this file somewhere else. I don't have to do anything else. So if your organization, for example, even has other applications, they can integrate this with Gmail, and it's called dynamic email. So it saves time, again, on your popping through different platforms. However, my favorite part of Gmail really is the sidebar. It really starts all with the calendar, obviously. So you can see your calendar here. You can schedule meetings with people automatically. If it only would load for me, for some reason it wouldn't load. Oh, come on, where are you? Okay, I'll get back to that. The other thing is notes and keep. So these ones, by the way, are right away linked to your Google Keep. So you can do it separately in the window, or if you can do it like take notes on your phone, you can see them directly here. So you don't have to jump from window to window. You just can check them here. What drives my day all the time is tasks. So obviously you can add a task, new task here. You can add it. You can add it sometimes subtasks. You have a phone app as well with tasks. But one of the favorite things I do is just this. I'll drag and drop an email in tasks, and then I'll say I want to work on it tomorrow at 11:30. Work. And that, what it does automatically, it adds this task to my calendar. And as soon as I'm in calendar and I get a notification I have to work on it, I press mark as done, and this will disappear. So the neat thing is that these tasks are actually all across your environment. So if you would go into a Google Doc, I'm curious, do you see just my Gmail, or did it go to Google Doc right now? I'm gonna stop sharing, sorry. Sometimes I am not too fond of Zoom. Chrome tab, no. Okay.
I'm loving the drag and drop, Roman. That's really good.
Can you see my Google Doc right now?
Yeah, Google Doc,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
All good.
So that's the add-on bar that often is missed. And you see, this is exactly the same task. So even if I would jump from one to another, my task stays there. If I would be in notes and I'll jump in here and I'll press notes, again, it will be the same thing. So instead of me jumping for different applications, you kind of pick one thing that works for you and you stick to that. And sometimes when I would leave my computer and I still have my phone in my hands, I'm still in the same kind of platform. So that's very crucial in terms of time saving. Cool. Their tasks is very interesting. What you can do is also obviously contacts. Some people jumping in here. For me, we also have Google Voice, so I just can call people directly from here, from Gmail. If you use anything like Ring Central or any other kind of VoIP, you also can add it, because it's very simple. You just go into the add-ons, and here we go. You can add your Zoom, you can add your Slack, you can add Asana, and so many other things that can make your Gmail a powerhouse of your collaboration. So you don't have to jump from too many things or all the time. And equally, for us, Salesforce, you can add it here and any other things that you might have in your organization. I'm really confused why my calendar doesn't work. I'm just gonna refresh it. Okay, let's do calendar for a second. Another thing here is very simple. Those are the labels. I also talked about search, if you remember. So search is very simple. You can qualify, you can create a filter in any way you want. Please, okay, filter, maybe I can do LinkedIn. Go, create a filter, and I just can go crazy with it. I want this to respond to the template. Maybe I want to go to a label. I want any of these things. Honestly, I don't use it. All I do is I search, because I always know there is something contextual in that email, and it takes me so much faster to get it. However, I get it. People are more organized than me, so you feel free to really play with filters and see how that works for you. Here I can jump in any session with people, and I just can start a new meeting directly here if I want and call someone. Here's the calendar showed up. So in this sense, I can see the calendar. Actually, did it show up okay, here we go. I can even, set up a session directly, add someone. But Daniel, would it find Daniel? Daniel, here he is. Here we go, automatically suggested his name, automatically added the Google Meet. I can add a description, debrief session. Maybe I want to add a doc. That doc would be something that we just discussed, or any of these things. And again, it's all within your email. You don't have to go anywhere. Cool. If we go into the calendar, go ahead.
You've got a very busy calendar, Roman. How do you do all the color coding?
Okay, color coding for my calendar. Yeah, so it's like, it's very simple. You just click on the whatever you have here, different calendars, and you just change it. So my calendar is green. So whenever I search for someone else's calendar, it will show up as a different one. In this case, you'll see mine. And remember the email that I just had? If I would, let's see it in action together. The task, sorry. So if I would just mark it as complete, this task would automatically disappear from here. No, mark complete. Come on. Come on. Demos. Here we go. Task is gone. So that in this way, you know, the reason I'm showing you these things because some of the things might resonate with you, some might not. You really have to see what's available and then pick the path you feel is comfortable for you. In settings, we discussed about this ones. Remember the world clock? That is a very important one to do. So if you manage different people time zones, you would go and turn the world clock here, and it will show up right away. So if you would find someone's calendar here, you're able to right away figure out what time zone they are in. You can equally block the time you're working on, or you can also have it offline mode as we discussed. Again, my suggestion is go in and play with various settings here and see what works for you. Some of the things might be relevant from what I'm talking, and maybe world clock is not even at all a thing for you. Maybe notifications is important. Maybe modifying event is important, or blocking events from being modified. So those are the small nitty-gritty pieces that you can investigate afterwards, and I'll share a link where you can see a bit more details. But overall, in the way it's here, that is as simple as it is. So maybe I'll show also one more thing. Go ahead. Yeah.
We have a question. So can you overlay your calendar with somebody else's to find shared gaps for meetings?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So let's take, let's take this, this person. He's very green, very orange as well. Maybe someone else. Let's do someone else. Oh, it's also orange. Maybe him. Oh, everyone is picking up as orange. Okay, but it's fine. Let's do this one. So as soon as you see this calendar shows up, that's his calendar. Right away, I found the gap. All I need to do is that. That automatically adds our names, automatically adds a Google Meet link. I can press rooms. It automatically finds a room for us. Well, not in the time we are now in. And that's it. And I just press save, and it will send a notification. What I can do also is go inside here, and maybe I have several people. Several people can be in that view too, but I can click on find time, and I just can scroll through and look where I want. Or you just can put them in one chat and ask the bot to do it, and just say, hey, can you please schedule a time for John and Vlad, and it automatically do it for you. Another neat thing is also the formats. You could have an out of office that will bump emails out. You can put an working elsewhere, which will tell people that you're not there, or appointment slots, which are relatively interesting. So for your director, let's say they have office hours or VP, you'll just set up a meeting time, or let's say office hours, and make it, let's say, I don't know, here we go, and 30 points, 30 seconds, 30 minutes each. And then you would share with people this link. It will load in a second. And then they can jump in here and put available, they will see available slots when they can meet with this person. See, in my case, they are not set up. I don't really have, I'm not a VP. I don't need them. But okay, so next available slots, 4th. Here we go. Those are the office hours. So someone will jump in here, click, and add these details. This UI is changing, by the way, by end of the year. But that's how you can create office hour slots for your VP, for example, really quick. I'm just gonna delete this just in case nobody books time with me. Cool. So calendar. Before I go, yes.
Sorry, so it says, does this all work for non-Gmail email addresses, i.e. our own from our websites?
What do you mean? So if you're not an Gmail address, okay, but you have an email, you have to be in Google Calendar to do this. But you mean the
Louise? I think so. Louise, if you can tell us a little bit more, then I'll be able to have a look. That would be great. Sorry, Roman, we'll carry on, and I'll see what Louise says. Thank you.
No, so the slots, the appointment page, this page, it can be shared externally. So you can share this appointment page, and people can externally just access it and book a session. Cool. Let's go into what did we have there. Next one was Drive. Drive, and maybe we'll talk about a few documents first, and then we'll get into this. Very simple thing, forms. You've probably seen forms, seen them around. Easy to create, nothing too crazy. Put questions together. What I like about forms is that you can add videos in it, you can add various things, you can make it a quiz, you can make it a test, you can make it an education, you can make anything out of it you want. Change images here. You can even have add-ons and have notifications if someone filled in a form, and okay, you'll receive notifications about it. All this different jazz. And you obviously have all these reviews here. However, for me, why I wanted to start with a form, which is simple, is really about going into the actual data you receive from these forms. And in this case, we have several lines, right? But now imagine when you have hundreds of responses. So you want to analyze that data. What typically happens? You download an Excel file, and then you start digging into it, creating filters maybe. In spreadsheets, it's very simple. And by the way, this is available for free as well. What you do is you click this button in the corner, Explore button, and ask a question. How many people have a visa? Have visas, let's say, not visa. How many people can travel on September 5? Come on. My demos don't work. Just a second, I have to. How many people have manager approval? All depends on the headers, you see? So if I know what the headers and how the questions are written, I can ask a question here, and it will automatically tell me how many people have manager approvals, right? And you can actually have how many people have manager approval, and maybe I'll add something else, and have a valid visa. Still 12. You see, and we know that actually no, there's only one missing. So it's not correct. But if you design these headers correctly, you're able to easily get the information of this spreadsheet. And you can see the formula as well, how we did it. In this case, it's very simple. But now imagine if you have a lot of data. It's very hard to get the data right away. You can equally select maybe a section, and it would automatically pull some charts for you that you just can drag and drop and have it ready. But let's say this stuff will change all the time. Why don't we take this chart and go into a document and paste it in? So now, anytime something happens in this file, this will automatically change. Wow. Or you can take this and put it in a presentation like the one I showed you earlier. And as soon as something changed, the presentation is always updated. And it's simple as that. Okay.
That's amazing. I didn't know any of that, Roman. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And obviously you can start playing around with this, and it will understand gradually what you want to do, what you can, This is a simple thing, but now when you skyrocket this to something more complex, you see, here we go. Different things, different charts. Sometimes a pie chart, it will learn as well. Here we go, it's a pie chart now. Change colors. You can download it, you can copy it, you can manipulate it in any way you want. Cool. The other thing maybe here, and I know that I'm going fast for this, obviously you can edit this, is I know people use like macros in spreadsheets, in Excel. So what you can do is record a macro. What does that do is whenever you do a certain activity, say, okay, copy and paste, then go back, and then you save this. What's going trial? You can use this macro later to do this activity for you. So you can manage your macro and tell, okay, perform this activity at certain time, or whenever things happen, you can perform certain activity. And if you're working with someone together, remember I told you about version history? What you can do is, oh, actually, I don't know what happened yesterday. I want to go back to this. And then you see what changes happen on that day. But maybe you say, you know what, before I share this with everyone, I'm going to call this version 0. And that's it. And now I can restore this version if I want to, but I just can go back, work on it, share it. People will make different changes, I don't know what. And I'll go back in and say, okay, interesting. People changed this here and this here, but maybe I just want to go back to my version 0 and see the changes that happen along the line. And you can see who did it, you can rename it, all these kind of things. Sorry, go fast. I know we don't have so much time, so I want to make sure I cover as much as possible.
Yeah, this is great, Raymond. Thank you. We just have had a couple of questions in the chat box.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can. So with Louisa saying, I think that the external access would work. I just wondered if, like in Outlook, we can add any email addresses and then use the functionality of all of the Google Workspace.
If you add an Outlook email where in, I'm confused the question again.
I think what Louise means, I think is when you go in Outlook and you can add, is it when you add things to the address book? Please, if you want, you can take yourself off mute and let us know. Just
you can add any email address and then use the functionality of all the Google Workspace. Does they explain what I mean? So you mean if you take an Outlook and just forward your Outlook email directly in Gmail and then use all the Outlook services, you can do that.
I mean, yeah, I think maybe that's it. So you don't have to have a Gmail address that I'm using. I'm using my info@moremomentum.co.uk, and I still have all this functionality like you do on Outlook. You can do this. You don't have to have a Gmail account to do all of this stuff. Be working from that email address.
Oh, no, yeah, that's just the identity part. Yeah, you can create an account with that email and then use all the services. Yeah.
Right, great, thank you.
But yeah, the only challenge, I'll show you why there is a certain challenge to that and what you get as well as a paid customer in a second. Few things here in the Word doc. Tools, I think the one what's very cool, where is it? Tools, word count. Here we go, voice typing. So what we can do obviously is do some voice typing. It's very simple. I honestly, when it was deployed, I hated every moment of my college because I had to type this, but I just could have had a glass of beer and do this while and write all my papers this way. Okay, let's just stop it. The simple thing as well, afterward, maybe I want to tag someone. So let's say I'll tag Federico. So in this case, he will be tagged automatically. And I can share with him. I'll dismiss in this situation. Obviously, you know the simple comment you already have in this different. Again, you can assign this document to him. What is interesting is also I can link a document here. Link doc. And this is where this comes to life. I can, no, where is my, I don't have a doc here. Just a second. Doc. Let's try this one. So what I can do is just open preview. So instead of opening the entire document, what I can do is just use this directly here. And typically works doc and doc, but the slides are going to be working as well. So I just can use this here, and that's it. What I like as well, very neat feature. If I just leave it this way, then automatically understands the name of the doc, and it just changes. That's small things. What I do encourage, obviously, is to play with add-ons. And it's the same add-ons I talked about before. If you use any other additional platforms to design, to, I don't know, brainstorm or anything like that, try to sync them in. So it's easy for you to really, really simply connect all the data together. But let's suppose, like earlier, we were talking about exploring information, right, in sheets. Maybe now I'm looking for a logo, or let's say Google logo. Instead of opening web, I can just do this. And it's there.
Wow.
So I just can play with it. Same in slides. Very simple, no trouble. Now, what Cloud Search is, let's see. You see, it doesn't have any information about this document, but let's go into Cloud Search. So that's usually for paid users only. It's effectively a Google search for your organization. So in this case, I'm going to search for a friend of mine. Says, okay, here's his name, here's his information. And I say, oh, maybe I want to see all our email interaction about something specific. Maybe I want to see our drive, the files we've shared between ourselves, right? So in this way, I can filter whatever I want by maybe it's videos we share together, maybe it's something else we share together. All this information, it's really indexed right away here. So what I'm able to do is simple querying. And in this case, all my next meetings are going to show up here. So if it recognizes any deck that I need to work on, you see, in this case, I have to build this deck. But if I would have had this deck already, it will show up here. And all I need to do is just click on, and it will pop into a meeting. So this is what a lot of left Cloud Search, a lot of like doctors or people or salespeople use, because for them this is easy to track a lot of information which is dispersed across different platforms or across different tools. Cool. Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. Do you see my presentation, right? Should have done this at the beginning, just so it's easy for everyone to ask questions. What you can do is, in slides, enable a feature called Q&A. So just share with everyone a link. If you go to that link, what you're able to do is not present, but ask questions. And those questions can be upvoted, downvoted, or being anonymous. Did you get to it?
Can we try?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask some questions, and we will present it in a second how it looks like.
Okay. Oh, I can't get off this screen. You know, give it a try. Give it a try. It'd be great to see it.
Here we go. So now you ask a question, and on my side, I have another window that does presentations. So I just can do this. So we could have done this at the end, by the way, but we jumped right into it. So I can, in this way, what we call them dories. And dory is something came in out of our weekly sessions called Thanks Google It's Friday, TGIF, where we have a session with the CEO. So it's actually a standalone application, but now we've embedded directly in slides, so we can just easily do this. So you can start the session, put it there, present, people ask questions. It's anonymous too if you want to. It's very simple.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I think the same. I didn't realize there's so much that you can do. It's great.
I haven't even turned this, captions. You can have captions directly in if you want in this too, in your slides. So it's very simple in this sense.
How do you do that?
Just press captions at the bottom in the settings. When you do present mode, you will see this. I mean, you can have the pointer as well if you want to. I never use the pointer, to be honest, not my thing. But yeah, you can have that here. And generally, with time, they will appear in, let's do this smaller. They will appear as well in different languages. Right now, we just announced in Google Meet translations in French, Spanish. There was 7 languages. So we didn't really go into Google Meet because we're right now in one of this Zoom calls. But Meet is very simple. Really, you know, it's like this session is actually as well there. Maybe I'm gonna mute myself so you guys, there's no any problem. Everything you have in Zoom, I know people keep asking about Google Meet, is also there. Breakout rooms, polls, Q&As. You can dial in people, by the way. You can call a person in directly and just, you know, sometimes it's funny when we're like 5 people on the call and then you call someone and like, by the way, there are another 5 people. It's not only me just calling you. So you can add people easily here. Very simple, raise hands, present, nothing too complex. And if you're using Outlook and if you want to use Meet, there's a plugin, so you can put the plugin directly there. All these kind of things. It will even nudge you sometimes if you, hey, you need to jump into your next meeting. Cool. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say this is really awesome. We've got 5 minutes left. So, are there any golden nuggets, Roman? Before, I mean, you give loads, but anything else that you'd like to show us, or if you've got any questions, if you pop them in the chat box, we'll try and ask Roman before he goes.
So let's start a few more things that I want to share at the end. Number 1 is this one. Please do share this, save this link. It's all the tips and tricks. 2 more things to show you. Maybe we'll go back into Google Meet and I'll show you something there too. So once we use someone on Google Meet, what you can do, obviously change, you have captions here in different languages, as I said. But what you can also do is automatically create or record a meeting, create a Jamboard. And that means with everyone on the call, you have a whiteboarding session. Jamboard looks like this. It's automatically saved in your Google Drive. You can collaborate with people easily. Can create one from scratch. We do it a lot for our, you see, this is one of my previous sessions I've done and people just went crazy. You can access this from your tablet, from your phone, from your computer as well. And it's very simple. There's, you know, you just create things here, add notes and whatnot. And if you're on a session on Google Meet, just send it to people and they automatically join. And then it's saved, as I said before, you know, you can go back and edit it, or it's saved as a PDF and you can share it with people afterwards. Like we did this for one of our team buildings as well. Super simple. I need this. Okay, this out. Google Drive. I wanted to show Google Drive, but to be honest, it's very simple. It's not complex. All you have is your files. You probably have it in your personal life. Then you have shared drives. Is where people, you know, this are managed by a manager or something, or, you know, your organization, and you still have your notes here on the side. You have your priority. You can create a workspace. So this is like a specific workspace with specific projects. That's it. And it works in offline mode as well, by the way. Maybe, yeah, one more, that thing. I'll wait with this just right now. Dog slash. Oh, if you're using as well, what's it called? Gsuite, or even if you don't, to create a new file, all you do is doc.new and create a new file. Fantastic. Or you do sheets.new, it creates a new file. Sorry, there are so many things and tricks.
No. Honestly, Roman, you've been amazing. I'm so grateful because you've literally reeled off loads of stuff off Google today that I think loads of us didn't even know. We hope you found it useful. And well, I think we probably need to invite you back again, Roman.
Yeah, I could do the last one. That will be, this one is going to get a redesign, by the way, but last one I'm going to leave you with.
Okay. You
go to Transformation Gallery with Google, you get started, and you say, okay, what industry am I in? I don't know. Let's say I'm in business services, right? And then what department am I in? Maybe I'm in human resources. Maybe I'm in administrative, let's say. Okay, here we go. Finish. And then it says, okay, so if you're in this area, maybe what you can do is schedule remote client consultations, or maybe manage your digital case file. Click here, and then it tells you a suggestion. That's how you can do it. That's what product you can use. Obviously, this is a very simple one, but you can play with different things, and it will give you a suggestion what kind of products you can use in order to optimize some of your work. As simple as that.
Fantastic.
Cool. The hour has flown by very fast.
Absolutely. No, you've been an absolute joy. Thank you so much, Roman. I know I've sent an email out before with your email copied in. If anyone's got any questions, are you happy for them to get in touch with you directly?
That sounds good. Yeah. Just feel free to ping me. I'm happy to help.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Really, really grateful. I'll send a follow-up email as well, just so you've got Roman's details if you hadn't as before. We'd love to welcome you back again, Roman, sometime, and we'll see you all very soon. Hopefully, I'll send out the forthcoming events for you as well. But thank you all so much for joining us. All right, thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Take care, Roman. Thank you so much. Bye.